Most boat designs focus on luxurious comfort or capacity rather than raw power and speed. But over the years, things have changed and boats have become much more powerful. In today's video, join me because we're taking a look at 15 of the fastest boats ever made. Number 15. Problem Child. The aptly named Problem Child is a world record-holding top-fuel hydroplane, which is a type of boat that's built specifically for taking part in drag races. Amazingly, they feature similar engines to those used in drag racing cars, and the team behind Problem Child had close connections with the Kalita Motorsports NHRA team. The boat, which is owned by Eddie Knox, has a 500 cubic inch supercharged nitro-burning Hemi engine. It's able to produce a whopping 8,000 horsepower. And it's set the 15 quickest 1,000-foot times ever, reaching speeds across the water in excess of 260 miles an hour and completing the distance in just 3.3 seconds. These numbers you'd be impressed with if they'd been set on land, let alone water. Achieving this takes a huge amount of research, testing, and development, both for the raw power of the engine being translated into speed and the hydrodynamic design of the boat. Beating Problem Child's records isn't as simple as attaching a more powerful engine. One day, someone will manage to build a boat that's much faster from a standing start along a 1,000-foot course, but it could be years or even decades before anyone has the time and investment needed to do so again. Number 14. Cigarette 50 Marauder. With a name inspired by the boats used to smuggle alcohol during Prohibition, the cigarette racing team has been involved in high-speed nautical events since 1969. They've been at the forefront of the sport ever since, but in 2016 revealed a truly impressive new design. To celebrate the Monaco Formula One Grand Prix of that year, an event that itself is seen by many as the pinnacle of motorsport, and in collaboration with one of the leading Formula One teams, Mercedes-AMG, they exhibited the Cigarette 50 Marauder AMG Monaco. Built using a newly developed layup process that the company says was specifically developed for racing and reduces weight, as well as improved handling under heavy loads, the 50-foot or 15-meter boat took the car team's colors, and it's powered by twin Mercury Racing 1550 V8 engines. With more than 3,000 horsepower and an incredibly light structure, thanks to a hull made from carbon fiber, the boat's able to reach a crazy top speed of 140 miles or 225 kilometers per hour with racing fuel, which makes it by far one of the fastest boats that are actually available for the general public to buy. Number 13. Spirit of Qatar. An annual speedboat competition that's held at the Ozarks Lake in Missouri brings the fastest teams from around the world to show off their latest designs and speeds. It's a great opportunity to not only be the fastest of the event, but to push the boundaries of what's possible. And in 2014, the Spirit of Qatar team went a step further than most. They brought their new turbine-powered boat, which was called the Al-Anam 96, to attempt to break the course record of 224 miles or 360 kilometers per hour that had been set during the previous year's event. The 50-foot or 15-meter catamaran was fitted with twin engines that could produce up to 3,000 horsepower and was driven by the team's owner Sheikh Hassan along with a throttle man. On the first attempt, there was a malfunction with the safety chutes that caused them to be deployed too early, and this left all hopes with the second run. This time, everything went to plan, and the boat reached a top speed of 244 miles or 393 kilometers per hour, a record that's yet to be broken. The Spirit of Qatar team has since been disbanded, but after the assets were sold to others, it's hoped that the boat may one day be upgraded and able to surpass its own top speed and potentially break the 250-mile or 402-kilometer-per-hour mark. Number 12. DCB Performance Boats M35. DCB Performance Boats is a racing team and a speedboat manufacturer that produces some of the fastest vessels available to purchase. One of their leading designs is called the M35, and it's an impressive machine. Costing around $750,000, it's powered by twin Mercury Racing 1350s with M8 drives and can reach an estimated top speed in excess of 170 miles or 274 kilometers per hour. Each boat is made on an individual basis with a hull constructed from fiberglass, carbon fiber, Kevlar, and a foam core. By using a vacuum-infused resin where negative pressure pulls air out of it as it's being applied, the strongest, lightest structure is created. Fitted with 4 comfortable seats, the M35 is built for speed, but surprisingly has a cabin with a berth and an outboard storage area. Of course, these will normally just be used to store light objects to achieve the best top speeds, but it can be used for overnighting if need be. Number 11. The world is not enough. We all might dream of one day owning our own private yacht, but usually the designs of these vessels focus on luxury over everything else. They aren't known for being the fastest of boats, but one company has designed a yacht that not only allows you to travel in comfort, but also at quite a surprising speed. Called The World Is Not Enough, the 140-foot or 43-meter-long boat has a lightweight aluminum superstructure, and it gets its power from 2 Paxman 18-cylinder diesel engines, which produce a combined 10,870 horsepower that's almost doubled by the addition of twin turbines. It's been designed around a dead-rise V hull, which allows it to cut through the water no matter the conditions, and means that the yacht can reach a top speed of 70 knots, which is just over 80 miles or 129 kilometers an hour. To put this into perspective, most luxury yachts only travel at about a third of this speed. And The World Is Not Enough has a few other tricks up its sleeve, too. It has a maximum range of 3,800 miles, or 6,100 kilometers, which is enough to cover virtually any expanse of ocean, and manages to carve through the water with no more noise than any other yacht, and hardly any vibrations at all. This means that even at top speeds, you'll be able to sit back in absolute comfort, leaving everyone else in your wake. Number 10. Francisco. People around the world rely on passenger ferries to take them and their vehicles across bodies of water, but have you ever sat impatiently on one wishing that it was faster? It's a dilemma faced by transport authorities because if workers can be delivered to their destination in a faster time, it not only helps to increase efficiency but also allows the boat to be reloaded for the return trip. Currently, the fastest passenger ferry in the world is called the Francisco, and it serves the route between Buenos Aires in Argentina and Montevideo in Uruguay. It's a 325-foot or 99-meter-long wave-piercing catamaran, which has room on board for 150 cars and 1,000 passengers, all of whom are afforded the comfort you'd expect of a large vessel, with bars, VIP spaces, and a huge duty-free shopping mall. What makes it so special, though, is that the 650-ton vessel is powered by 2 GE Energy LM2500 marine gas turbines and 2 high-powered water jets, which combine to enable it to reach a top speed of 58 knots, which is 67 miles or 108 kilometers per hour. Very few passenger ships are able to reach anywhere close to these kinds of speeds, especially those that carry vehicles, so the design of this one is seen as a game-changer for trade between the two cities. Number 9. Fujin. First launched in 2015, Fujin is an all-carbon catamaran that was specifically designed to compete in race events around the world. Featuring Polynesian-style bows, seafoils through each hull, a rotating mast, and adjustable T-foil rudders, it also has 6 berths for extended voyages. There's no motor power, which means it's nowhere near as fast as the quickest speedboats, but for something that's solely reliant on wind power, it's seriously impressive. When traveling upwind with a tacking angle of 90 degrees, it can reach up to 13 knots. But with the wind in its favor, it'll more than double this to 30 knots, which is approximately equivalent to 34.5 miles or 55.5 kilometers per hour. During a race in 2018, Fujin capsized and suffered extreme damage, but this only spurred the owners on to refit the catamaran and make it even better for future races. Most things were replaced like for like, but the addition of new instruments and the removal of the hydraulics for the sail meant that the weight was reduced and its maneuverability was significantly enhanced. Now it's one of the fastest boats of its type on Earth and shows just how far technology can be pushed to build incredible designs. Number 8. HMCS Bradior 400. Naval domination has been an aspiration of militaries around the world for as long as warships have been in existence, and while there's no substitute for the biggest and most powerful destroyers and aircraft carriers, a vessel to quickly respond to unfolding events is also a much sought-after capability. The fastest battleship to have ever been built was the HMCS Bradior 400. Conceived by the Canadian Navy, it was a hydrofoil. That means the bulk of the vessel would lift up above the surface, leaving just 3 points of contact with the water. This seriously reduces drag, and during tests in the 1970s allowed the boat to reach top speeds of 63 knots, which is the same as just over 72 miles or 116 kilometers per hour. Its purpose was as a submarine detector during the Cold War, where it would not only be able to find them but quickly chase them down in any weather conditions. The design never made it out of the prototype phases, however. Research costs had already exceeded $300 million, and helicopter and destroyer teams were proving to be just as effective at targeting enemy subs. The one prototype that was built was consigned to a museum near Quebec City, where it remains to this day. Number 7. Say-29E. First offered for sale in 2020, the Say-29E is a record-breaking production speedboat with a difference. It's fully electrically powered. Built by Say Yachts, the design team is focused on two elements to make this possible. The first being to increase the power that's provided by the batteries and the motors, and the second is to reduce the boat's weight in comparison to previous models. Amazingly, as it's made from carbon fiber, the hull of the Say-29E weighs less than 900 pounds or 400 kilograms, and the battery technology is provided by a company called Crystal Electric. During tests on the prototype in 2008, the Say-29E broke the previous record by logging a speed of 50 knots, which is approximately 58 miles or 93 kilometers per hour, and the company insists that under the right conditions, it's capable of improving on this too. While it may not be the overall fastest electric boat of all, it's the fastest one that's available to buy, although with a list price of 196,000 euros or 206,000 US dollars for the base model. For the moment, it's likely well outside the price range that most people can afford. Number 6. Nortec 5200 Roadster. Produced by Nortec between 2013 and 2020, the 5200 Roadster is an incredibly fun and fast boat that can carry as many as 10 people at once. Although if you really plan on pushing it to its limits, it'd probably be only comfortable for 4. Measuring 49 feet or almost 15 meters long and 12 feet or about 3.5 meters across the beam, various upgrade options are available that can see it fitted with up to 4 engines, something that virtually guarantees the 6-ton boat will be the fastest of any on the lake or coastal area that you're visiting. In ideal conditions, this allows the 5200 Roadster to reach speeds in excess of 80 miles or 129 kilometers per hour, and the luxurious seating means that even if the boat's crashing through the waves, the passengers on board will be comfortable. There's also an interior cabin with a double berth and a bench seating in it, and a padded sun lounge to allow you to enjoy your surroundings wherever you've traveled to. Number 5. Mystic Powerboat C5000 Turbine. Mystic Powerboats is a manufacturer that's known for creating some seriously impressive designs. But with the C5000 turbine that was sold in 2011, they really took things up a notch. It's a phenomenal catamaran that would make you feel like a secret agent as you shoot across the water, and its impressive specs means that the boat, which cost nearly $750,000 when new, can outperform almost any other production vessel. Measuring 50 feet or 15.2 meters long and 12 feet or 3.5 meters wide, the hull is made from a specially designed composite material, and it's fitted with twin turbine engines that can each produce 1,850 horsepower. This total of 3,700 horses means that the C5000 turbine with Mercury propellers boasts a cruising speed of 95 knots, which is the equivalent to 109 miles or 175 kilometers per hour, and an incredible top speed of 160 miles an hour, or about 257 kilometers per hour. Beyond sheer speed, the boat is designed for comfort and entertainment too, with an air-conditioned cockpit and an onboard oxygen system, and a Tiger communication system paired with the JL audio sound system, meaning that anyone who owns one of these will be able to show up and start the party wherever and whenever they want. Number 4. Jaguar V20E. Jaguar is a name that's known for producing incredibly fast supercars, something it's done for decades. But the Jaguar Vector Racing team is relatively new when it comes to designing boats. This hasn't prevented them from creating a record-breaking boat, however, because with the V20E, they set the time for the fastest ever electric boat, and according to the team, they've only just got started. It was the result of a collaboration between the team and Williams Advanced Engineering, which is a department of the Williams Motor Racing team that competes in Formula One and various other series. The battery packs and motors used on the V20E boat are similar to the powertrains that are used by the cars in the Formula E Racing Championship, which is an all-electric series, and using this on a boat produces phenomenal power. On a calm day in England of June 2018, the team took the boat to the famous course at a lake called Coniston Water, and across its 0.6-mile or 1-kilometer stretch, smashed the previous record to reach a speed of 88 miles or 143 kilometers per hour. To do this purely with electrical power and no fuel is a true feat of engineering, but the team isn't anywhere near finished. They're targeting the 100-mile-an-hour mark, and they think it'll be achievable within the next few years. Number 3. Bluebird K7. First taking to the water in January of 1955, Bluebird K7 was built during the heyday of water speed record attempts and would set a new bar that would remain unbroken for almost 2 decades. The jet-engined hydroplane was designed by Ken and Lou Norris and built with a steel frame, an aluminum body, and 3 points of contact with the water. It was powered by a Metropolitan Vickers barrel axial flow turbojet engine that was able to produce around 3,500 pounds of thrust, and it was way ahead of its time with design. After continually improving attempts, the Bluebird K7 set its fastest speed in December of 1964 at Lake Dumbleyung in Australia, where it set a record of 276 miles or 444 kilometers per hour. The pilot of the boat, Donald Campbell, felt, however, that there was far more potential to get out of the design, so went on to target 300 miles per hour by replacing the engine with a lighter and more powerful one that was loaned to him by the Ministry of Defense. Unfortunately, during the speed attempt with the new design in 1967, the boat lifted into the air and crashed back down into the water, which immediately killed Campbell on impact and destroyed the boat too. The wreck was eventually recovered, but Campbell's body was never found, showing just how dangerous the world of speed records truly is. In honor of the Bluebird K7, attempts are currently underway to build a new version of the boat with modern technology, and it's possible that the name will soon take to the water again to try to set a new water speed record. Number 2. Vestas Sailrocket 2. At first, you may think that the limit of how fast a sailboat can travel is the speed of the wind itself, but with a combination of clever engineering and lightweight materials, it's possible to make something that goes far faster. The Vestas sailrocket is an ingenious concept that proves this, and in 2012 would go on to set the speed record for boats in its class. The team, which was based on the Isle of Wight in the UK, had spent more than 16 months perfecting the design and had borrowed principles from other vehicles, such as the aerodynamics of aircraft and the way the tires are set up on race cars to minimize friction from the road surface. The first version of the sailrocket proved to be a success, but it was damaged during test runs, so there was no choice but to build a second one with improvements over the original. The resulting Vestas Sailrocket 2 measured 40 feet or 12 meters long and had a total sail area of 236 square feet or about 22 square meters. It was made from carbon fiber with a strong honeycomb core. This meant that it weighed just 600 pounds or about 275 kilograms. With just 3 points of contact with the water, the drag was significantly reduced in comparison with other designs, and its lightweight frame meant that the overall design could channel far more of the wind's energy into momentum than anything that had come before it. On a day with absolutely perfect conditions on a course at Walvis Bay, Namibia, the boat set records over the 1-mile and 500-meter distances, reaching a confirmed top speed of 68 knots, which is the same as 78 miles or 126 kilometers per hour, which was almost triple the prevailing wind speed at the time. Number 1. Spirit of Australia. You'd have thought that with modern technology, the speed record for the fastest boat was something that could be continually broken. Amazingly though, it's a record that was set in October of 1978, and no one's come close ever since. What's even more impressive is that the Spirit of Australia wasn't constructed with modern composite lightweight materials, and instead was built in a backyard from wood. Ken Warby had been inspired by the speed attempts of the Bluebird team in the 1960s as he was growing up, and came to the conclusion that when traveling at fast speeds, it'd be better to have a heavier and more stable boat that wouldn't risk launching into the air. And that's why he made the Spirit of Australia in this way, and looked to overcome the weight disadvantage by simply adding far more thrust to it. using just wood and fiberglass for the hull and relying on tarpaulin to cover it when it rained. He happened to be friends with 2 airmen from the nearby Australian Air Force and was able to purchase 3 surplus Westinghouse jet engines from auction. At the time, they weren't working, but the 3 of them managed to refurbish them and attach them to the boat, with their plan being a resounding success. In October of 1978, the Spirit of Australia was clocked at a speed of 317.6 miles, or 511.1 kilometers per hour, a record that stands to this day, and even Ken Warby, who drove it, is the only person to have ever traveled faster than 300 miles per hour across water and survived. Watch our Waves playlist for more top 15 videos about massive waves. Sit back, relax, and binge watch all of our best wave videos.